Ojeki, the seductive chef. If only they knew her secret recipe, they did avoid her cooking. As the days goes, wives watched with suspicious eyes as their husbands returned home, with their hearts still craving for the warm embrace of Ojeki's restaurant. With each passing evening, the men grew increasingly infatuated with the memory of her cooking, their thoughts consumed by the tantalizing taste of her dishes. The village buzzed with gossip, whispers exchanged in hushed tones as people speculated about the mysterious allure of Ojeki's food. Some claimed it was nothing more than clever seasoning and culinary skill, while others whispered that it was witchcraft at play. A magic seasoned into each dish that ensnared the hearts of those who tasted it. Once upon a time, in a small, bustling village called Humans, life hummed with energy. Sunlight danced off the vibrant colors of the market stalls, while the aroma of spices and sizzling food filled the air. It was a place where stories intertwined like the threads of a rich tapestry, and none were more captivating than that of Ojeki, the talented chef who ran the most popular restaurant in town. Ojeki was a master of the culinary arts, her dishes whispered about in hushed tones throughout the village. From succulent grilled meats to delicate pastries that melted in the mouth, her creations were nothing short of magical. But it wasn't just her cooking that drew people in, it was her presence, her charm that seemed to weave a spell over those who encountered her. Rumors swirled like leaves in the wind about Ojeki's mysterious past and her mesmerizing allure. Some whispered that she possessed a charm so potent it could ensnare even the most cautious soul. Yet, despite these whispers of caution, the villagers couldn't resist the pull of Ojeki's restaurant. Every evening, the restaurant was filled to the brim with patrons eager to sample Ojeki's latest creations. They came from far and wide, drawn by the promise of an unforgettable culinary experience. Some came for the food, others for the chance to catch a glimpse of the enigmatic chef herself. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the village came alive with the sounds of laughter and conversation. And at the heart of it all stood Ojeki's restaurant, a beacon of warmth and hospitality in the midst of it all. But beneath the surface of this idyllic scene, tension simmered. There were those who warned against the dangers of Ojeki's charms, cautioning their fellow villagers to tread carefully. Yet, for many, the allure of Ojeki's restaurant was simply too irresistible to ignore. And so, as the night stretched on and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, the village of Humans continued to buzz with excitement, its inhabitants drawn together by a shared love of food and the promise of something extraordinary. As the night deepened and the stars painted the sky with their twinkling light, Ojeki's restaurant pulsed with activity. The air was thick with the savory scent of spices and the tantalizing aroma of cooking food. Within the cozy confines of the restaurant, patrons sat at wooden tables, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of candlelight. Amidst the chatter and clinking of glasses, Ojeki moved gracefully through the room, her presence commanding attention. With each dish she crafted, she seemed to weave a spell over her diners, igniting not just their taste buds but a deeper longing within their hearts. For some, it was a simple craving for more of Ojeki's delectable cooking. But for others, it was something more dangerous, the desire that stirred deep within them, tempting them to stray from the path of loyalty and commitment. Among the patrons sat a group of men, their faces flushed with excitement as they indulged in the feast before them. Yet, beneath their jovial demeanor, there lingered a sense of unease. For these were not just any men, they were husbands, fathers, pillars of the community. And yet, in the presence of Ojeki and her irresistible dishes, they found themselves drawn into a web of temptation. As they savored each mouthful, a dangerous energy crackled in the air, a tension that seemed to pull at the very fabric of their vows and promises. And though they tried to resist, to push aside the longing that stirred within them, they found themselves powerless in the face of Ojeki's seductive charms. Across the room, Ojeki observed with a knowing smile, her eyes twinkling with mischief. She was well aware of the effect she had on the men who frequented her restaurant, and she reveled in the power it afforded her. But beneath her confident exterior lay a deeper truth, a longing for something more, something real and lasting. As the night wore on and the last of the patrons departed, Ojeki lingered in the empty restaurant, the flickering candlelight casting shadows across her face. In the silence that followed, she couldn't help but wonder what lay ahead, both for herself and for those whose hearts she had unwittingly ensnared. Our wonderful people, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to be the first to experience the thrill of our next story. In the days that followed, a subtle shift settled over the village of humans. Wives watched with weary eyes as their husbands returned home, their hearts still lingering in the warm embrace of Ojeki's restaurant. With each passing evening, the men grew increasingly infatuated with the memory of her cooking, their thoughts consumed by the lingering taste of her dishes. For the wives, it was a troubling sight, a reminder of the powerful hold Ojeki seemed to have over their husbands. As they went about their daily routines, they couldn't shake the feeling of unease that settled in the pit of their stomachs. They knew their husbands loved them, but the allure of Ojeki's cuisine stirred something deeper, something primal and unsettling. The village itself buzzed with gossip, whispers exchanged in hushed tones as people speculated about the mysterious allure of Ojeki's food. Some claimed it was nothing more than clever seasoning and culinary skill, while others whispered of darker forces at play, a magic seasoned into each dish that ensnared the hearts of those who tasted it. Yet, amidst the speculation and suspicion, one thing remained clear: Ojeki's restaurant continued to draw crowds from near and far, its reputation as a place of culinary delight undiminished by the shadow of controversy. And as the village grappled with the stirrings of doubt and desire, Ojeki herself remained a silent observer, her secrets locked away behind a veil of enigmatic charm. But beneath the surface, a storm was brewing, a storm of jealousy, suspicion, and longing that threatened to upend the delicate balance of life in humans. And as the days turned into weeks, the village braced itself for whatever consequences lay ahead, uncertain of what the future might hold in the wake of Ojeki's irresistible temptations. As whispers of Ojeki's mysterious influence spread through the village like wildfire, a group of concerned wives banded together, determined to uncover the truth behind the enchanting chef's hold over their husbands. With furrowed brows and determined expressions, they embarked on a covert investigation, their hearts heavy with worry and suspicion. Gathering in secret, the wives devised a plan to observe Ojeki's interactions with their husbands, hoping to unravel the mystery of her seductive charm. Armed with keen eyes and attentive ears, they watched from the shadows as Ojeki moved gracefully through her restaurant, her presence commanding attention at every turn. They noted the way she smiled and laughed, her words laced with a subtle allure that seemed to captivate those around her. And as they observed the effects of her cooking on their husbands, the way their eyes lit up with a newfound excitement, the way their laughter rang out louder and more carefree, the wives couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy and resentment gnawing at their hearts. But amidst the tension and suspicion, the village found itself divided, torn between those who had fallen under Ojeki's spell and those who remained wary of her intentions. Some dismissed the concerns of the wives as mere jealousy, insisting that there was nothing sinister about Ojeki's cooking, while others whispered of darker forces at play, warning their fellow villagers to tread carefully in the presence of the captivating chef. As tensions rose and tempers flared, the village became a battleground of conflicting emotions and loyalties. Yet, amidst the chaos, the wives pressed on with their investigation, determined to uncover the truth behind Ojeki's irresistible allure and protect their loved ones from whatever dangers lurked beneath the surface. And as they delved deeper into the heart of the mystery, they could only wonder what secrets lay waiting to be unearthed, and what consequences awaited them all in the tumultuous days ahead. As tensions reached a boiling point in the village of humans, the wives could no longer ignore the unsettling truth that lay before them. With heavy hearts and determined spirits, they gathered their courage and confronted their husbands about their growing infatuation with Ojeki's cooking. In the quiet confines of their homes, the wives poured out their fears and suspicions, their words trembling with emotion as they pleaded with their husbands to see reason. They spoke of the changes they had observed, the lingering glances, the whispered conversations, the longing that seemed to consume them whenever they spoke of Ojeki. And as the truth dawned upon the husbands, their faces paled with guilt and shame. They had been blind to the consequences of their desires, oblivious to the pain they had caused their devoted wives. But now, faced with the stark reality of their betrayal, they could no longer deny the truth that lay before them. Meanwhile, in the heart of the village, Ojeki stood amidst the chaos, her eyes shimmering with a mixture of regret and defiance. For too long, she had hidden behind a mask of mystery and intrigue, using her culinary skills to ensnare the hearts of the village's men. But now, as the truth was laid bare before her, she could no longer deny the consequences of her actions. With a heavy sigh, Ojeki admitted to using her cooking as a tool of manipulation, a means to satisfy her own desires at the expense of others. She spoke of her loneliness, her longing for companionship in a world that had always seemed to deny her happiness. And though her words were laced with remorse, they could not undo the pain she had caused. Subscribe, share this insightful video. Let's reach 1,000 subscribers together and keep our Africa folktale adventure going. As the truth of Ojeki's motives spread through the village like wildfire, chaos erupted in its wake. Betrayed wives demanded justice for the pain they had endured, their voices rising in a chorus of anger and frustration. And amidst the turmoil, the village of humans found itself at a crossroads, grappling with the consequences of desire, deception, and the power of temptation. As the dust settled over the village of humans, Ojeki stood at the center of it all, her heart heavy with remorse for the pain she had caused. With tears glistening in her eyes, she took a deep breath and faced the villagers, her voice trembling with emotion as she begged for their forgiveness. With humility and repentance, Ojeki confessed her wrongdoing, acknowledging the hurt she had inflicted upon the community through her actions. She spoke of her loneliness and her longing for connection, but she did not seek to excuse her behavior. Instead, she vowed to do everything in her power to mend the broken trust and restore harmony to the village. And as the villagers listened to her words, they felt a stirring of compassion within their hearts. They had been hurt, betrayed by someone they had trusted, but they could also see the pain etched upon Ojeki's face. In that moment, they realized that forgiveness was not just a gift they could offer to others, but a healing balm for their own wounded souls. With a renewed sense of purpose, the community came together to rebuild what had been broken, to mend relationships and reaffirm their commitment to each other. They set aside their differences and embraced the spirit of reconciliation, knowing that true healing could only come through unity and understanding. And as the days turned into weeks, the village of humans emerged from the darkness of betrayal into the light of redemption. Ojeki worked tirelessly to earn back the trust of the villagers, pouring her heart and soul into her cooking, not as a means of manipulation, but as a genuine expression of love and gratitude. Slowly but surely, the wounds of the past began to heal, replaced by a sense of hope and renewal that permeated every corner of the village. And though the scars of betrayal would always remain, they served as a reminder of the strength and resilience of the human spirit, a testament to the power of forgiveness, redemption, and the enduring bonds of community. If you're hungry for more intriguing stories, check out our next video. Click here.